is 1532. Inca civilization is at its height. In less than a century, they've grown into the greatest power in the Americas. On this day, a bloody civil war is ended. A new leader has emerged. His name is Atahualpa. In the tradition of his ancestors, Atahualpa drinks from the skull of his opponent, a skull lined with gold. It's the skull of Atahualpa's brother. To the east, the Amazon, the world's largest tropical rainforest. Running west to the Pacific, the driest desert on Earth, home to the Nazca, the people of Paracas, and the Moche. Wedged in between, the rocky spine of the Andes, the world's longest mountain range. It is second in height only to the Himalayas. This was the homeland of the Inca.
Of all great civilizations of antiquity, the Inca and their predecessors had to master global extremes in environmental conditions. And with this went a system of organizing life socially, economically, and religiously that is extremely marvelous. If we can understand the mindset of these people that allowed them to survive and thrive, we will have a great key to true masters of the largest civilization in the Americas. And that is a mystery that we have been trying to solve.
Against all odds, the Inca rose out of a long line of civilizations who survived here for centuries. Civilizations like the Tiwanaku and Moche, Paracas and Nazca, Icachincha, Chancay, and Chimu, the Inca's mysterious ancestors. Some built great cities that today are melting into mud, or wove stories in cloth wrapped around their dead. Some honored ancestors, worshiping their mummies. Some are remembered by exquisite treasures. Others by age-old secrets, haunting images etched in the desert floor. They worshipped many gods, but believed the sun, called Inti, was their spiritual father. The Inca and their ancestors stood in awe of the power of nature. In addition to Inti, the sun god, they worshipped the mountains, the earth, thunder, and the moon. They expanded their pantheon with each new people they conquered, incorporating new idols and spirits as their own. But all people of the region agreed on one universal creator called Viracocha. As the Inca left no written record, we know their gods as we know much of Indian life from chronicles of the Spaniards. Pedro de Cieza de Leon arrived in 1535.
The Indians say that for many days the world was in darkness, and then there emerged from the island of Titicaca the sun in its splendor, at which all rejoiced. And there came a man, large of stature, who had great powers. They called him Father of the Sun.
Just as Viracocha was the father of the sun, so each Inca leader was the son of the sun. And in 1532, that man was Atahualpa. He and his people were masters of their world. At his royal estate of Pisac, there was a temple in honor of the sun god Inti. Though this was a sacred site, a fortress protected the emperor, his court, and the rich farmland on the terraces below. With a commanding view of the valley, it was designed to defend against the wild Amazonian tribes to the east. But soon, a new enemy would appear, an enemy in search of gold, armed with their own god and powerful new weapons, an enemy that would threaten to destroy all the Inca had created. Inca emperors lived a life of extraordinary opulence. Atahualpa had many wives, and his choice of the most beautiful Inca women to serve his every need. His sacred body was clothed in the finest garments, worn once, then ceremonially burned. He ruled with absolute authority. In the empire's most lavish festival, he was honored as a living god. Held on the winter solstice in Cusco, the Inca capital, the festival of Inti Raymi celebrated the sun and all its abundant gifts. The Spanish outlawed Inti Raymi, but it was revived earlier this century. Like many Inca traditions, Inti Raymi honors ancestors, believers in God, in their emperor, and in their own hard work.
This system of belief recognized one's ancestors as being extremely important. Your grandfather, your great-grandfather, established where you would be in society. And because ancestors were so important, these folks engaged in what we call ancestor veneration, worshiping your ancestors. A major part of that was making sure that the ancestral body was kept intact. And to accomplish this, mummification of bodies became very, very important. The dead emperor would be embalmed, kept in his palace, but in a quasi-alive state. The mummy was brought out and seated with his ancestral mummies on all important occasions. If we were going to go to war as Inca, we would consult the deceased to make sure that we had their blessing.